The curse did not come with thunder. It came quietly like a mistake. Evan Cross was never special. That was the cruelest part. He wasn't chosen by prophecy, wasn't born with magic, wasn't powerful or feared. He was just a human boy from a forgotten town, living a life so ordinary that no one would remember his name after he died. Until the night the ground opened beneath his feet. It happened in the ruins outside Black Hollow, a place elders warned children never to enter. Evan didn't believe in curses or demons. He believed in hunger, in empty pockets, in the hope that maybe old ruins still held something valuable, something he could sell. The artifact lay half-buried beneath broken stone, a mirror, black as oil, cold as death. The moment Evan's fingers touched it, the world stopped breathing. The air thickened. Shadows stretched unnaturally long. His reflection in the mirror smiled, even though he didn't. A voice slid into his mind like poison. At last, a heart still capable of love. Pain exploded through his chest. Evan screamed as black veins crawled up his arm, spreading like ink beneath his skin. His reflection twisted, eyes glowing red, teeth sharp, smile hungry. You will become what the world already fears. The mirror shattered, and Evan collapsed into darkness. He woke up screaming. Sweat soaked his body. His heart pounded like it wanted to escape his chest. Morning light spilled through his small bedroom window, but something was wrong. His shadow moved, not with him. It lagged behind, twitched, curled like it was alive. "Get a grip," Evan whispered. He swung his legs off the bed and froze. Black marks spiraled around his wrist, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. No, no, no. The memories flooded back. The mirror, the voice, the pain. As panic rose, something else rose with it. Anger. Hot, sudden, unfamiliar. He clenched his fists, and the wooden chair across the room splintered into pieces. Evan staggered back, breath hitching. I didn't touch it. His shadow laughed. By nightfall, the curse spoke again, not in sound, but in truth. When Evan closed his eyes, visions burned behind them. A woman cloaked in ash, a demon with hollow eyes, a future soaked in blood, and one sentence, carved into his soul: true love will save you. Fail, and you'll become evil. Evan slammed his head against the wall. Save me how? He shouted into the empty room. What does that even mean? The curse answered with laughter. Days passed. The changes began slowly. His senses sharpened. Too sharp. He could hear heartbeats from across the street, smell fear on people, taste lies in the air. Then came the urges. When someone bumped into him, anger surged. When a man insulted him, Evan imagined breaking his jaw, and the thought felt good. That terrified him more than the power. He avoided people, avoided mirrors, avoided sleep. But the curse didn't care. It fed. On the seventh night, Evan lost control. A drunk man cornered him in an alley, knife flashing. Give me what you got, the man sneered. Fear should have come. Instead, relief did. Evan's eyes burned red. The shadow moved first. The man flew backward, slammed into the wall, unconscious but alive. The knife clattered to the ground. Evan stood there, shaking. I didn't mean to, he whispered. But deep inside, something purred. Word spread fast. About the boy with the demon eyes. About the alley where shadows attacked. About Evan Cross, the cursed one. People started avoiding him, crossing the street, locking doors. Fear hardened their faces. And with every look of disgust, the curse grew stronger. That's when Lena appeared. She worked at the old library, quiet, kind, always smiling softly. She had seen Evan before the curse, when he was just another face. One evening, she found him sitting alone on the steps, hood pulled low, hands shaking. You okay? She asked gently. Evan looked up. For a moment, he wanted to lie, but the curse twisted inside him, demanding truth. No, he said, I'm really not. She sat beside him anyway. They talked about books, about loneliness, about feeling unwanted. For the first time in days, Evan felt human. Hope flickered. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was true love. So he told her everything. The curse, the mirror, the darkness inside him. As he spoke, the marks crept up his neck, reacting to his fear. His shadow stretched unnaturally across the ground. Lena's smile faded. Her eyes widened. "You're serious," she whispered. "I didn't choose this," Evan said desperately. "I'm trying to fight it." She stood up slowly. "Step back." I can't," she said, voice trembling. "I'm sorry. I just can't." She ran. Something inside Evan broke. The marks burned. The shadow screamed. The curse whispered, satisfied. "See, love fears monsters." Evan collapsed to his knees, clutching his head. "I don't want to be evil," he sobbed. "I don't." The shadow wrapped around him like a cloak. "Then find someone who loves you before there's nothing left to love." His reflection appeared in a broken window, half human, half something else, and smiling. Evan Cross stopped sleeping, because every time he closed his eyes, the curse showed him who he was becoming. Not a demon king, not a monster from legends. Something worse. A man who enjoyed the dark. After Lena ran, Evan didn't chase her. He couldn't. The shadow around his feet had grown thicker, heavier, like chains made of smoke. His reflection in shop windows no longer copied his movements perfectly. Sometimes it smiled when he didn't. People noticed. Children whispered his name like a warning. Shopkeepers refused to meet his eyes. Doors closed when he walked past. Fear fed the curse, and the curse rewarded him. The first time Evan lost time, he didn't even realize it. He woke up in the woods outside Black Hollow, kneeling in wet leaves, hands shaking. The moon hung low and red above him. His clothes were torn. Blood stained his knuckles. Not his. Panic flooded him. No, 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 no. He followed the sound of crying. A man lay against a tree, alive, but broken. His leg twisted unnaturally, ribs crushed. The man sobbed when he saw Evan. "Please," he begged. "I won't do it again, I swear." Evan staggered back. "I didn't mean to," he whispered. The man didn't hear him. He only saw the red eyes. The monster. Evan ran. The curse spoke louder now. "You protected someone." "I hurt him." Evan shouted aloud as he stumbled through the trees. He was going to hurt a child. The memory forced itself into Evan's mind, clear and sharp. The man grabbing a girl's wrist. The girl screaming. Evan stopped. His chest tightened. "I didn't kill him," Evan said slowly. The curse purred. "Because you still resist." The marks crawled higher up his neck. Days blurred together. Evan tried to stay away from people, but trouble found him anyway. Violence followed him like a shadow. When he intervened, the curse surged, thrilled by fear, strengthened by power. Each time he gave in, even a little, something human slipped away. He stopped flinching at screams, stopped shaking after fights, started thinking first about how easy it would be. That terrified him. One evening, in a rain-soaked street, Evan met Mara. She wasn't gentle like Lena. She was sharp-eyed, scarred, and unafraid. She saw him stop a group of men from beating an old shopkeeper. She saw the shadows move unnaturally, but she didn't run. Instead, she stepped closer. "You're cursed," she said flatly. Evan froze. "You're not hiding it very well," she added. "And you're not enjoying it either. Get away from me," Evan warned, "before I lose control." Mara crossed her arms. "Then don't." Something about her calm unsettled him. "Everyone runs," Evan said bitterly. "Then maybe they're cowards," she replied. Mara followed him that night, not because she trusted him, because she recognized pain. She told him her story, how her village was destroyed by men claiming righteousness, how monsters saved her when humans wouldn't. "Evil isn't claws and shadows," she said. "It's choice." The curse stirred, uncomfortable. Days turned into weeks. Mara stayed. She saw Evan's worst moments. The shaking, the rage, the marks spreading across his chest, the way his shadow sometimes whispered his name. And still, she stayed. Not romantic. Not yet. Just present. The curse grew impatient. "She does not love you," it hissed. "She only pities you." Evan believed it, because part of him wanted to. The breaking point came during a raid. Hunters tracked Evan to an abandoned chapel. They carried blessed weapons, chanting his death-like prayer. Mara was with him. Run. Evan said, this isn't your fight. Mara shook her head. Neither was yours. But here you are. The hunters attacked. Evan fought. This time, he didn't hold back. Fire and shadow tore through the chapel. Men screamed. Walls collapsed. Blood stained the altar. When it ended, the hunters lay broken, alive but ruined. Evan stood in the wreckage, breathing hard. He realized something terrifying. It felt right. He turned to Mara. She stared at him, not in fear, in sadness. You're slipping, she said softly. Evan laughed, sharp, hollow. I warned you. The curse roared. Yes. The marks surged up his face. Horn-like shadows flickered above his brow. His eyes burned brighter. This is who I am now, Evan said. If you're smart, you'll leave. Mara stepped closer. You think love is fearlessness? She said. It's not. She placed her hand on his cursed chest. It's staying. The curse screamed. Pain ripped through Evan as cracks spread to the dark marks. Just for a second. Hope. Real hope. Then Mara pulled her hand away. I don't love you, she admitted quietly. Not like that. Not yet. The crack sealed. Worse than before. The curse laughed. Almost doesn't save you. That night, Evan stood alone on a cliff overlooking the city. The wind howled like a warning. He felt the last pieces of his humanity slipping. I don't have much time left, he whispered. Below, lights flickered. Innocent lives. Fragile lives. The curse whispered its promise. If you embrace me fully, you'll never hurt again. Evan closed his eyes, and for the first time, he didn't answer immediately. Evan Cross stopped pretending he was still human. Not because he wanted to, because pretending was exhausting. The city whispered his name now, not loudly, but urgently. Mothers pulled children closer when shadows stretched too long. Guards tightened their grips when red eyes flickered in alleyways. Evan lived between moments, between helping and destroying. The curse had grown smarter. It no longer pushed him to slaughter. It pushed him to choose. Save one, it whispered, or let 10 suffer. Every decision poisoned him either way. Mara watched him fade. She noticed the small things first. He no longer flinched at pain, no longer smiled, even by accident, no longer talked about a future. One night, she confronted him near the river where moonlight shattered on black water. You're disappearing, she said. Evan didn't turn. Good. That's not an answer. It's the only honest one, he replied. If I stop fighting, people stay safe. Mara's voice cracked. At the cost of you? He finally looked at her. His eyes burned crimson. I don't matter. The curse hummed in approval. That night, Evan lost control completely. Not to rage, to silence. A group of fanatics tried to burn a cursed child alive, screaming prayers as they tied him to a post. Evan arrived too late for mercy, but not too late for judgment. Shadows swallowed the street. When it ended, the flames were gone. So were the men. No bodies. Just ash. The child stared at Evan with wide eyes. Are you evil? The boy asked. Evan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. He walked away. Mara found him later, sitting in the ruins, hands shaking. You erased them, she said. They deserved it. Yes, she agreed. And that's what scares me. Evan looked at her sharply. You think I liked it? No, she said softly. I think you didn't feel anything at all. That hurt worse than hate. The curse was almost complete. Black markings covered Evan's body like living armor. Horns no longer flickered. They formed. His shadow detached itself sometimes, standing beside him like a second soul. You are free now, the curse crooned. No fear, no loss, no love. Evan almost accepted. Almost. The breaking moment came at dawn. Hunters surrounded the old sanctuary where Evan had cursed refugees, children, broken people, outcasts. They carried holy fire. Mara stood among the refugees. Evan felt something snap. No, he growled. The curse surged, power flooding his veins. Burn them all, it urged. End the threat forever. Evan stepped forward. And then, a blade pierced his back. Blessed steel. Agony exploded through him. He collapsed. Hunters rushed forward. Mara screamed his name. Something ancient woke inside Evan. Not rage, not hatred, fear. For her. The curse tried to seize control. Let me finish it. Evan screamed back inside his own mind. No. He dragged himself up, blood and shadow spilling together. He shielded the refugees with his body as holy fire rained down. Mara ran to him. Why? She cried. Why keep saving people who'll never accept you? Evan laughed weakly. Because if I stop, I really am the monster. Mara held his face. You already are, she said. Then she kissed him. Not gentle, not hesitant, desperate, real. The curse shattered, not destroyed. Cracked. Light and darkness collided inside Evan's chest. He screamed as the marking split, bleeding shadow. This is not true love. The curse roared. This is pity. Mara pressed her forehead to his. I'm terrified of you, she whispered. And I love you anyway. The curse fell silent. Power drained from Evan as he collapsed into her arms. The hunters fled. The sanctuary stood. For now, Evan woke hours later, weaker than ever. The curse still lived, but barely. Mara sat beside him, exhausted, eyes red. You didn't cure me, Evan said. No, she admitted, but I reminded it you're not alone. He took her hand. What if loving me destroys you? Mara smiled sadly. Then we'll both be destroyed. Outside, the sky darkened unnaturally. Something older than the curse had noticed. Something that wanted Evan back. Fully. Forever. The sky broke first. Not with thunder, but with silence. The clouds above the sanctuary twisted into a dark spiral, and the air grew heavy, ancient, aware. Evan felt it before he saw it. The source. The curse wasn't born. It was sent. Evan collapsed to his knees as the ground split open. From the crack rose a figure made of shadow and starlight, tall, faceless, crowned with burning runes. The Covenant. The entity that forged curses to test humanity. You were never meant to be saved. It spoke, its voice echoing inside Evan's bones. You were meant to prove that love fails. Mara stood in front of Evan without thinking. Then you chose the wrong man, she said, shaking, but unbroken. The Covenant laughed. He is already mine. The truth slammed into Evan's mind. The curse didn't want to turn him evil. It wanted to make him unlovable, to push everyone away. To prove that when fear and power rise, love leaves. Evan looked at Mara, at her bleeding hands, her exhausted eyes, her refusal to step back. I'm the ending, Evan whispered. If I stay, you die. Mara smiled through tears. Then let me choose. The Covenant extended a shadowed hand. Accept me fully, it offered Evan. I will spare her. You will become eternal, untouchable, beyond pain. Evan felt the temptation sink deep. No more fear. No more loss. No more watching people die because of him. Just power. Forever. He closed his eyes and remembered being human. He remembered Lena running. The child asking if he was evil. Mara staying. He stood. Slowly. No, Evan said. The Covenant paused. You will lose everything. Evan turned to Mara. I love you, he said softly. Not because you saved me, but because you saw me and stayed. Mara's breath hitched. The curse screamed. Evan did the unthinkable. He turned the curse inward, not to control it, to end it. Dark markings flared as Evan pulled all the curse's power into his own heart, compressing it, suffocating it. The Covenant roared in fury. You cannot destroy what you are. Evan smiled sadly. I know. He looked at Mara one last time. True love doesn't cure monsters, he whispered. It chooses them anyway. The explosion was silent. Light and shadow